Okay, today is the first day. Gonna do a brew with the Grainfather. Getting ready to get the water heated up, get my mash going. I'm just doing a simple pale ale. It's more about the equipment than it is the beer today, so should be real easy. You don't have too many hop additions, anything too crazy. Just looking to do a general pale ale and see how everything is working along here. Going to do this in the garage area, not outside the brewery here, and see how long it goes. So getting ready to fill her up. All right, 4.8 gallons. Getting ready to bring it up to about 148 degrees. See how long that takes. One thing I'm going to do different today is I'm going to use a pre-chiller to chill the water going into my counterflow chiller. So I have an old immersion chiller I'm going to put in here, and I've got a couple 1 gallon buckets or 2 gallon buckets of water frozen, jugs of water frozen, and I'm going to throw them in there, get that water nice and cold, and as I run it out from my hose, it's going to go in there, it's going to get really cold, and then it'll come in and it'll hit the chiller, and then go straight into the fermenter. So I'm trying to do it one pass because the water here in Hawaii is pretty warm in the ground, and normally I recirculate and chill till I get down to a pitching temp or whatnot. But I'm going to try and do it this way today and see if I can one, save some water, and two, get my work in the fermenter quicker. Alright, let's get this in here. We're ready to put our grains in. We're just over right now. I just switched over to mashing on the element here. Remember, you got to switch the bottom to mash as well. If you have one of these, clearly says that in the book there. I'm going to pour the grains in, so you can do that off camera because I got one hand right now. But we'll get in there and see how it maintains the temperature. One thing I want to remind you of is when you go to pour your grains in, just go ahead and put that tube in there, and that way it'll keep it from any grains getting down there. I think they tell you to do that in directions, but if not, it's just a good idea. Alright, I got all my grains in there, and it's a little thick, a little bit thicker than I'm used to with the mash. A little soupier than, I usually like a little bit thinner, but following the directions today. It's maintaining within a degree or two. We'll see if it fires back up here. Get to 147. I'm going to do that 75-minute rest at 147. So we'll keep an eye on it. All right, looks like the mash is going good now. Swinging a couple degrees back and forth. Not too bad. Roll off is running in there good. It's kind of foamy right now, so I really can't see how clear it is. One thing yesterday when I was doing the boil test, I noticed that when I took the lid off, the vigoration of the boil went down considerably. So what I'm going to try is I put some of this Reflectix on the side here. Just cut a piece off of a roll that I had laying around. I'm going to keep that on through this process to maybe try and retain some of the heat that's in there. And actually the size is pretty good in the roll that it comes with, and then it's just being held on the clips that are on the side there. So really didn't take much modification at all to get it on there, but if that helps with the boil, then good to go. It's kind of like a sleeve for it. A buddy of mine who has a Brewmeister said that they have a sleeve that has for it too to help retain heat. So with these kind of rims systems in here, that might be helpful. So obviously there's none right over here and in front of the control panel, but if it ends up working, I'll get a piece and I'll put it right over here. Maybe the scrap that I have, I'll do that with. So okay, so far so good. Okay, so the mash out is happening right now. I had to heat some water, some storage water, in there. Got that up to temp. Got my pre-chiller bucket set up here with my immersion chiller. Gonna use that, and then I'm gonna collect water in my old mash tun when I start the cooling process, so I can clean up with that. And then I got my junk bucket going. So everything seems to be going good. Been somewhat of a hands-off process from now. I have got a little look at some of the wort. I took the top of it. It looks crystal clear. It's beautiful. But once I pull this up here, we'll be able to see that. Yeah, that's really nice looking stuff there. So, all right. No complaints so far. Okay, it seems like there's a lot of grains in here on the top. Hopefully I had everything set up right and my wort's not full of grains like that. Hopefully it was just pulling until I get a good bed settled. But my crush is set to the factory setting, so I don't know, we'll see. But once I get this up and look at it, it might tell a different story. I'm not sure. Okay, I've just finished with the sparge, and now while it's draining out into the tub, I switched over to boil. So I'm gonna let this drain until it gets up to about, I don't know, about 205 or so, and then I'll take the mash tun off, set that off to the side, get that ready for cleaning. But the temperature should start to go up, and we should start our boil here pretty soon. So hopefully we'll be able to maintain a good rolling boil while it's sitting in here and without the lid on. And then for the first time here, I'm going to use a hop spider to catch all my hops, because I don't want to make sure that I'm putting too many in there to plug up the pump or anything like that. So I'll send some pictures of that up, or get some pictures of that when that's running. But so far, no complaints. Everything seems to be going good. System seems pretty responsive. No problems with the panel, with the temperature controller, or anything like that right now. Okay, we'll be back in a few. Okay, as I'm ramping up to the boil here, I want to show you something. Again, the US version's only got the 1500 or 1600 watt heating element there, so it's it's a little difficult to keep large volumes boiling with a vigorous boil. When I was doing my testing, it with the lid on, it was doing great, and then when I took the lid off, it kind of started to boil down. And I'll show some video of that. But with some other systems, systems typical like this, they have jackets that you can buy and put on there. Well, the Grainfather doesn't have one just yet. I know it's been recommended on the website there. So one of the first hacks, I guess you could say, that I've done for this is I've put some Reflectix on the areas around, and this pretty much covers the whole area around to the other side right there, and then where the tubing comes in, there's a small break, and then I just put another part there. So and you can see it clips in, or fits in the clips that are right there quite nicely. And then as it hangs down, just to keep from getting air underneath, I just tied some bungee cord down there, and you can feel the heat out there. It's definitely working. I'm getting ready to come up to boil here, a couple more degrees to get to 212, but I'm hoping that'll do the trick, and see, and we'll be able to compare the boil that I had last night to the boil I'm going to get tonight with actual wort in the system. So that's just one quick hack that I needed to do for the US version, and I guess you could get upset about it, but there's really no reason to. It's understandable. Reason the 110 system on the electric here, we can't have the big heating element, so we got to kind of improvise for this. So hopefully, if it's something simple as this, then boom, we're off and running. If not, if we got to tinker with it a little bit more, we'll have to see. But right now, I am very pleased with the way the system's performing. All right, we're just getting up almost to boil here. We're at 211. See a little bit of activity down there. Looks like some good coagulation from the proteins. The foam just started to die down a little bit, and looking like we're coming along pretty good here. So as soon as that gets up to 212, I'll drop my first addition of hops in and see with the hop spider and see how that goes, and then start my countdown. So the volume is just maybe quarter gallon up than the recipe calls for. So we'll see how the evaporation rate goes on this, but that's the boil that we have right now. So occasionally you'll have a pop-up with more activity, but there it is. Alright, that's about as vigorous the boil's going to get. It's a gentle roll. So as I was getting ready to finish the chilling process, I realized I hadn't taken any video of it because of the way my camera was set up. I was kind of focused on getting all that. So I took a picture of it real quick, and as you can see, I have the setup here. The way that the pre-chiller was set up with my old immersion chiller, had the garden hose going in there. My groundwater temperature is about 82 degrees, and then it would come out of there somewhere in low 60s, upper 50s, go into the counterflow chiller, and from in there it would take it from a 210 down into my fermenter to about 92 degrees from there. So for a single pass, it wasn't too bad. I was able to collect the hot water coming out of the counterflow chiller into my old mash tun, and then I used that for cleanup in there. And so overall I used maybe just over 10 gallons of water to cool my wort, which is pretty good, a lot better than my old plate chiller would work, and was able to pretty much get to pitching temperature by the time I was done cleaning up from my boil day. So not too bad, but it worked out pretty good, and especially incorporating that pre-chiller was super easy, and made it, you know, obviously a little bit more efficient for me. So all right, and we're bubbling. We got first Grainfather batch fermenting. All right, 2 weeks to go.